Now this is the first national car brand, Proton, and then we also had the second national car brand, which was Perodua. Okay, we had a Kanju before, we had a Canary before, we had a Viva before, and we also had a Myvi before. What I'm trying to tell you today is that our country, Malaysia, the governments are thinking about a third national car brand, which in my opinion you would be asking, do I support this idea or not? To be honest, I am on the neutral side, but the thing is that better still, they do not start a third national car brand, and here is why. What happened to Proton is that in order to protect this P1 Proton, what the government did is that they increased foreign car prices by 300%. If you compare the pricing of the Iris premium spec and a premium spec Honda Jazz, right? A Honda Jazz premium spec costs about 80,000 ringgit, if not mistaken, or maybe around 85. But a premium spec Iris, right, only costs 55,000 ringgit, which in my opinion that 30,000 price gap is too much. If you want better quality, if you want better brand image, you know, you have to pay 30,000 more. The segment of the Jazz and the Iris is the same. Both of them are B segment cars, but the thing is that you have to pay 30,000 more if you want a foreign car brand, which I don't think that this is a very good investment for an extra 30,000, right? I'd rather fly to UK for a holiday. We Malaysians, right, if we want to buy a foreign car, we need to pay a lot more compared to national car of the same segment. And what this means is that all of us Malaysians, right, we do not cherish the existence of these two national car brands. Even Perodua, for instance, a Myvi premium spec, the advanced spec, costs around 55,000 ringgit as well, including insurance and stuff. If we want to have a new national car brand, right, the third national car brand, I don't know what kind of cars are they planning to make, SUVs or sedans or electric cars, I don't know yet. But the thing is that the government has to use a lot of money in order to research and develop a new brand for all of us consumers. And you want to ask this question, why do we even need a third national car brand? We already have Proton, we already have Perodua, okay? For Proton, right, Proton makes quite practical cars. Like, we have a lot of safe sedans, we have quite powerful sedans as well. And for Perodua, on the other hand, right, they make compact and easy to drive cars, which save a lot of fuel. For the third national car brand, right, if they actually really want to make a third national car brand, which they are already overly anticipated about, I think they have to create a new market, a new automotive market. What this means is that now our national car brands P1 and P2, they focus on A, B, C and D segment. Okay, we don't have an E segment yet. The Perdana is basically a D segment car with an E segment car body size. In my opinion, right, if they want to have a third national car brand, I think that they should start to venture into electric cars, because none of our national cars right now are electric cars. That time Proton wanted to build an electric version of the Proton Iris. They invited the Indonesian president to have a ride in its prototype, and that project failed. Okay, so right now we are still stuck with petrol engine Proton Iris, which is Iris premium spec, which in my opinion it is not so advanced, because how long have petrol engines been around? In the 80s you have petrol engines. Back in the 80s, right, very little cars are EFI. Yeah, this car is definitely electronic fuel injection. What the government needs to know is that they have to make a car that people want to buy. So if they make a luxurious and technologically advanced electric car, I think that if they price their cars, okay, electric car, not hybrid car, if they were to price that car at 200,000, I think that it might easily outsell the new Camry 215, because that car is using that old, I think the code is 2ARFE. They are using that same 2.5 litre engine from the 2013 XP50. I mean that XP50 that does not even have ESC lah, which was, I think that was even earlier at 2011 or 2012. I think it is 2011 lah. Okay. No matter how advanced or how amazing the new national car brand will be, the government would possibly use the national funds to make a new car brand, which in my opinion, if this new car brand fails, I tell you something, I would become very furious. I remember a few months ago, right, they actually made a public account so that we as the rakyat of Malaysia, we are able to donate our sum of money to them. I mean, like after PH became government, so they make the account. But I am now suspecting what are they actually doing with their money, because of course I see some improvements with our national road surfaces. They are thinking about creating a problem. Proton as a company, they fail to produce good products. Actually, theoretically, right, the cost of making a Proton Iris, the cost of making this car is actually higher than making a Corolla Altis. You see, the Corolla Altis is a global car. Okay, you can find it in America, you can find it in Thailand, you can find it in Singapore, you can find it in Malaysia, you name it all. You can even find it in Australia as well. Okay, it is a global car. But and also, if you talk about the Corolla Altis, right, the Corolla Altis has been said to be the best-selling car in the world. Is it from the K70 generation? I don't know lah. But the thing is that in Malaysia, the Proton Iris, right, it cannot, I think 1 year there are not even 10,000 irises being sold on the road. The Persona is selling very well because ever since the launch of the Persona, right, the sales of iris has gone down to the drain. Every year, right, Proton is actually making quite significant losses. You know, back then when they make cars like the Preve or Suprema S, by today's figures, right, by today's facts, data and evidence, those two car models have failed to sell well. Proton used to ask for lots of monetary assistance from the government. Even though the government pump in so much of money into Proton's hands, I mean, they still fail to produce good sales figures. But Produa is successful lah. You're talking about a new national car brand. I want to ask you this question again. Why do you need a third national car brand? You make it exist. If you make a third national car brand, right? No, I think that almost 80% of the rakyat, they will not say this, you know. They will not be like, oh, wow, amazing, oh, everyone won't like it. Do you know why? Because Proton as a car company has sucked so much of money from the rakyat. Okay, let us not talk about the failure of Proton to achieve certain sales figures. Let us talk about the taxations that has been imposed on foreign cars. Okay, without the existence of Proton or maybe Produa, today our CX-5, our CR-V, they would cost half the price. Maybe a Nissan Tiana, right? A Nissan Tiana 2.0 cost around 140,000 when it was still on sale. But imagine if you didn't have a brand called Proton, what would happen? That car could possibly cost only 75,000 ringgit. Right now, with the existence of Proton, right, you just make everyone suffer to pay for higher car prices. And a lot of car manufacturers, right, because to make the cars cheaper, they took out a lot of important features, sometimes even safety features. The Nissan Serena S Hybrid C27, that car in Japan, it had Pro Pilot feature, which in Malaysia, right, we didn't receive the Pro Pilot feature. Okay, like my own Safiro, okay, my Safiro only had one airbag. This is because to keep the car cheap. But the thing is that is not the way, because you guys make foreign cars so expensive and national cars so cheap. In the end, when we buy a foreign car, right, we end up, you know, some of us, we get the Kosong spec Toyota Vios. We lose out on a lot of features, which other countries, they can get more features for a lower price. You guys as the government, right, you guys should become more mindful. I mean, like, you should remember that you still have a lot of debts to pay off, okay? You see, you say that you want to put taxations on Spotify, okay? I am okay with that if you use the tax to pay for our national debt, because our national debt, right, some people say that it has already gone to the trillions of ringgit. Trillions of ringgit, right? You imagine how shameful this makes us rakyat feel, because our nation should not fail and should not come to that extent. Because, I mean, you want to pay trillions of debts, trillions of ringgits of debts. You need, at least, in my opinion lah, you need 5 years, okay? With the existence of the new government, right, things are not easy. Then you still need to think of other factors like our fuel prices. Imagine all the expenses that we Malaysians have to bear, right? And then, right now, you guys in the parliament or whatever place that you talk about, you guys are saying, oh, kami nak buat itu baru punya car national brand. I tell you guys, you all pergi tidur better lah. Do not do something which is not practical. You have to do something that favors rakyat, you see. You have to do something in favor of the general public. But the thing is that I want to summarize this video by saying that, number one, if this third car brand fails, this means that you guys will have higher debts to pay off because you make losses. Number 2, every single rakyat will be angry at you guys. Okay, I don't want to repeat your name again, but let me repeat again. Pakatan Rakyat lah, huh? Okay, Pakatan Harapan. Okay. Number 3, you guys are wasting the Earth's resources. Okay, I'm wasting my resources as well. I mean, my car is in P, engine is still running, we are using petrol lah, huh? You need to know that the glass you need sand to make. You need energy to run the car. Put yourself in the rakyat's mindset lah. If you are a normal citizen, right, guys, would you like it if the government suddenly wants to make a new national brand? If you guys are, you know, like owing other countries few millions or billions of ringgit, I think you guys won't want to do that, right? Get that mindset out of your brain and get back to work, do the proper stuff, okay? And last but not least, I do not support the new national car brand. Thank you.